Yes, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. If you can't hear the bell sound, just relax yourself. Let your body to settle down. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are trying to share some basic informations related to meditation practice. So, when it comes to the subject meditation, more than any other time, there are a lot of informations available. But why then we bringing more and more and more information to it? The very reason is what the Buddha taught as meditation is totally different now in the world that the most of people practice as meditation. Because now the world that we are living is governed by the science, machines and technology and informations and pharmaceutical product. So this all develop focusing to this material world. And now when it comes to the world, then the most of people believe as success, how you gain this material success. So our measurement of the success is basically this material world. That is what introduced by the West. But in the East, based with the India and around other countries, China, Thailand, Myanmar, Burma, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, and then from that point to Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. So that countries, not today, like thousand years back, they had a deeper understanding and practice with the mind. So that is very important. Just imagine today, when it comes to this Western world, this Western method, we follow the science, technology, and all the pharmaceutical product, and we have strong confidence related to it. And we have no idea what it is. We don't know about it. We believe and we follow and we accept and we always have the confidence related to that all the scientists. And when you use anything, and sometimes you don't care about it. And you have no idea when you watch the TV, computer, cell phone, when you turn on the light, when you take any kind of tablets, you have no idea what it is and how it made. You just use it. And using that, what happens? You become a debtor to it. You become part of it. You start to bound to it. So that is the nature of this material world. When we use it again and again and again and again, we hold it to it, grasp into it, clinging to it. We go through this accumulation nature. But in the mind, that the base with this mental practice, when you develop that understanding, it's not going to be enough just by having confidence related to that whatever the teachings. It's not enough that you just have the confidence related to the teacher. Just imagine that there is a teacher come to you, there is a monk or the guru or master come to you and tell, all conditions, things are impermanent. Maybe you understand for a certain level what is that impermanent, but just by believing it, just by holding to it, just by collecting information around it, not going to take you out of the darkness. So then you have to understand there are two different kind of methods that we living. We are now, most of us now, what happening? We are kind of like a sandwich. Material world, conventional life, and at the same time, this is spiritual life. In between this both, we struggling. One world go behind the material, physical world. One world is they are holding the mental clarity over the teachings. So then you have to be very careful when it comes to understand the Dharma, because that understanding is the key foundation. So then it is better yourself not to separate this and how to understand this all are part of our life. And at the same time, whatever the experience, whatever the material things or the physical things or the mental things belong to the world. So then for a certain level, you are capable to use it. We cannot take anything from here. But while we are using, we can develop our understanding. That understanding will uplift us to a certain level too. to become free from this world. Otherwise, there is a greater danger we can get stuck. Because once you get stuck, remember, physically, mentally, when you get stuck, it is very difficult for other people to help you to get out of it. So that's why you have to be very careful yourself when you look for freedom, when you look for clarity. And always to investigate yourself and having the critical analytical understanding to yourself and look into deeper and be very clear regarding the path you go through. Dharma is not a kind of like a rear view mirror. When you drive, you have the windscreen. So the Dharma should be like the windscreen. The rear view mirror is very tiny, little small. When you move forward, what happened? Whatever object that appear to that mirror is go a little by far away, go away from you, go away from you. So most of us reflecting on our past experience and mesmerizing and reminding, enjoying and believing that whatever we have done in the past can bring us the success or the happiness or freedom for tomorrow is kind of like you are trying to drive looking at rear view mirror. So then always remember, keep the Dharma as your windscreen. Try to look through it. When you move forward, it doesn't matter whatever happened yesterday. Today is the very important place that you have to focus. So when it comes to that today you cannot depend on the memory that you carry from yesterday. So then you have to have one thing, this is what called Sati. This is one of the important subject in Buddha's teaching, Sati. Sati is not just kind of like a simple mindfulness. Sati has more deeper meaning. So as human being, that the most important thing that you have, most valuable thing that you have, most expensive thing that you have is your Sati. So the Sati here, you have the conscious decision to be with one mental object and go deeper into it and look it from every angle without bounding, holding to, or grasping to any point of view. So sometimes some people explain the Sati as a kind of like you are aware for everything. We cannot do that. If you try to be aware for everything, you have to be very careful, because then that you're going to get disturbed. You may get tired. Because as ordinary people, you know that we cannot just be aware regarding everything around us. So the Sati here means if you are capable to select one thing out of that everything and be focused to it and be with it and consciously aware about it and again and again and again without mesmerizing regarding the experience that you have, becoming free from the experience, and if you are capable to go into deeper, 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 that is where you can develop your Sati. That is one way. So then remember, if you misunderstand the Sati, it's going to become very dangerous for you. Because just Sati is not here the important part when it comes to us. The mindfulness, everybody can have mindfulness. Like as example, just imagine a sniper. They are so mindful. They can be with the target and they can wait for it. They have very clarity regarding their target and they don't get disturbed out of anything. So that's a kind of like a mindfulness they have. But here, that mindfulness is not the Sati that we call here. Sati always going to work with the profitable skills. Remember that. Sati never work with unprofitable skills. Sati never grow with the greed, hatred, or the delusion. Sati always grow with profitable skills. That's a very critical point that you have to understand. Mindfulness, you can be mindful regarding anything. It doesn't matter. Even the thief, when they are trying to stealing something, they have to be very mindful. But the Sati is not like that. When you have the ability to take a conscious decision related to one mental object and be with it. So in that mental object, if always the loving kindness, generosity, compassion, wisdom arise, or it help to those kind of profitable skills, that is where the Sati grow. So I explain it from another route. Sati lead to wisdom. Sati take you to wisdom. And the Sati grow, the ground for the Sati is tranquility state, which we call the Samadhi. That tranquility state not equal to mindfulness. That tranquility state means settling down. That is where the Sati grow. To settle down, you have to have good ethical practice, moral discipline, sila. So the sila is the foundation, and on that sila, tranquility state arise. So then just imagine if your mind is so busy, it is very difficult for you to tranquilize your mind, calm down your mind, relax your mind, and keep your mind into mental object. Remember, start to look, don't struggle to keep working with it. Start to look into your day-to-day activities, your character, your behavior, and start to develop self-discipline. Maybe, as you know, 5 precepts. And at the same time, too much eating, too much sleeping, too much, whatever, too much these physical activities can affect for your tranquility state. So those are little background qualities that you have to develop. And so then be aware your environment, and even that sometimes the incense that you burn, as we know that nowadays there are many incense, but sometimes maybe because the smell has a deeper connection to the brain, remember that. So sometimes that whatever the incense you burn, that smell, that aroma can disturb your tranquility state. It can kind of like warm up you. It can kind of like ignite your emotions. So as you know, this burning these things and getting aroma and make the environment profitable for things, it has a very ancient history. So then you have to be very careful. There are some smells doesn't work for you. You cannot burn any, especially if you burn it inside your house, in your room. If it is outside, it is okay, because by the time it going to go away. But in case inside the room, when you practice meditation, if you burn incense, be very careful. So try to find something. If you can meditate without incense, is the best. But for some people, they like to make that environment. So then be careful about it. Find the right incense. It's not what you like, because sometimes we like to mesmerize. We kind of like to get into trance, sleeping mood. Sometimes when we start to practice meditation, we like to get into kind of like a high, kind of like ignite feelings. That is not the meditation here. See, that's why sometimes your tranquility state doesn't work. And incense, another thing is candles. So you know that there are many candles now. It has, when it burns, it has smell. And then how you know, sometimes when you sit for meditation, lighting a candle, and then little by little, once the mind, body calm down, and you start to feel kind of all the emotions start to vomit. And then you may get disturbed. So because of this aroma has the deepest ability to recall the memory, or the bring the feelings of. That's why that the perfume is very expensive everywhere. So then when you practice meditation, if you want to burn a candle, and just like try to burn a plain candle without any kind of like ingredients in it. So those things, it's a kind of like, and sometimes music. See that all this, everything, that emotion, that's why that it's kind of like we are emotionally repeating this. And that is where our self-discipline doesn't work. So simply try to get neutral within yourself with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind for a moment. Protect that moment. Don't get into any reactions. Don't depend on anything. So that will help you to have a very clear foundation with the discipline. Once you have it, you will see. And how the mind tranquilizing. It helps you to, so because the tranquility come out of this mental confidence. It is not just come out of just effort. And once the mind tranquilizes, you are capable to find one mental object and be with it. That is where the Sati start to work. So now when it come to so that's why when it come to Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha didn't talk about to be mindful regarding everything. Being mindful regarding everything useless. It can take our life away. And the other thing is, it can make us kind of like depressed. And there are a lot of things that it doesn't need for us. It need for a certain level. So just imagine when you close the door, there is a lock. When you lock the door, you don't need to keep thinking about it. That's why there is a lock. So then you have to be free from it. So like that, there are a lot of things that you use it, but remember to let it go. But when you want to focus to something, be disciplined with it and try to focus to it. So that is where the Sati grows. So then that is, and other thing is, it always need to be profitable way. In profitable way, Sati doesn't grow. Always for the good things, the Sati work. So in Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha mentioned, contemplate on the body, contemplate on the feelings, contemplate on the mind, contemplate on the phenomena. So not everything. See, there are certain things that you have to focus. So like that, when you come to breathing, be disciplined to be focused to breathing. And other thing is, when it comes to mind, Sati is not a kind of like a interference action. You aware about it. So that's why in teaching, it's mentioned it's kind of like a security guard. He watched the gate, watcher. Whoever come in and go out, he may get records. But he not going to bring all the people from outside and put inside and all the people from inside to throw out. No. The gatekeeper keep watching. When somebody come in or go out and notice. So like that, the Sati is not interfering with all the actions. When you come to observing breathing, so the breathing is not a mental action. So the breathing is a bodily action. Breath happens because of the body. So let the body to breathe in or breathe out and keep observe. Because when you keep observing to the breathing in the present moment, what happens? How it is going to become a profitable skill. Because in the present moment, when you observe the breathing, there is no greed, hatred, or the delusion arise. Why? Because always for the greed, hatred, or the delusion, you need something from the past or the future. Otherwise, the greed, hatred, or the delusion not going to arise. So just imagine you are the greed. It's not 24/7, you are greedy. The greediness arises with the memory. It needs some kind of memory to arise. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So when you observe in the present moment 100%, with the inhalation or exhalation, there is no gap to come and settle down your past or the future memory, another thought. So that is where it doesn't generate any greed, hatred, or the delusion. And the Sati becomes sharper, clear, and stronger. So the Sati is the only one tool that the Mara cannot tackle. Other everything that the Mara can get. Demons can get that. Sometimes the deities can interfere with all other things. Sati is the only one thing the Mara cannot tackle. See that how beautiful it is then. So then if you develop the Sati, that's where all the karma going to neutral or eliminate. The karma doesn't work when the Sati is there. So that is where you 100% your conscious decision going to work. And that is where you gain the confidence, trust, clarity. So that clarity uplift you day by day, day by day, day by day. And it is not a kind of like a way back. It's an irreversible experience, Sati. It cannot go back to your old memory and get mesmerized once you become Sati. So that's why try to uplift yourself from mindfulness to Sati. Of course, mindfulness is important. Mindfulness is very necessary for our day-to-day life. But now people are in the Western world with these machines and technology where we are heading, people are trying to overtake this Sati, the mindfulness. That's why, now driverless car. And with this artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, you no need to read any books or anything kind of like that. Any knowledge, anything, how to do. And there are robots, machines. Just you have to do, push the button, things going to work. And even if you just imagine if you push the wrong button, it doesn't work. It tell, push the right button. And there are some, for you, they're going to push the right button. So by the time, if the people develop this, and because they are thinking the mindfulness is the greater challenge and they try to overtake it. So then that's where people become zombies. You no need to do anything, just everything going to be around. But the Sati is not like that. Sati is give the 100% experience related to this human life. It's become very authentic, organic, realistic experience. So it's nothing to do with this. The material world. You are capable to more and be with it without getting disturbed or without getting destroyed yourself. So that's why. And the Sati develop, when the Sati become higher, what happens? It brings your cognitive flexibility. So then you are anymore not bound to any emotions, habits, patterns, culture, tradition, because that cognitive flexibility always going to bring the highest benefits to yourself. That is why you experience the freedom from your own mind. The world is not a problem. How we going to deal with our mind is the most difficult part. So if you have this cognitive flexibility, what happens? You are always going to be in the moment according to your highest ability. And that going to help you day by day, day by day, day. Then that is where, as a human being, you are capable to experience things. And another thing is, I was reading this scientific article. Now, around the world, it is not just even all these wealthy countries. No, far away. The most of the poor countries in the future going to become poor. Because more than this, all the rich countries, the poor countries now depending on science, technology, and the machines and the pharmaceutical product, and this all the transport system and everything. And by the time you know what happening, now it's there are some universities, they have done some research all around the world. The most of the poor countries, these young people, they don't have ability to take decisions. That's, because they are slowly losing the ability of this mind, human mind. So then always remember, when you cannot take decisions in your life for you and for others, what the point? And how are you going to define it as a life when you cannot take decisions? Because the most beautiful thing that you can experience in this life, taking decisions. But what is happening now, more than half of the world, especially the young generation, and forget about these children, these babies, they have no idea. All the young people, because that is the future of the world, they don't have ability to take decisions. So then in the future, what happen again and again, they have to depend on this, all the machines and technology. So then how you can protect this humanity? Not just developing the mindfulness, because now it's already, mindfulness already, overtaking by these machines. That's why now there are many machines, and it's a kind of like technology, gadgetics, many things. Even you are not mindful, it's going to work for you properly. But the Sati is not about this all. Sati is the only one tool that you have to get out of the suffering or the becoming. Sati is the only one tool that you have to find the inner freedom, and Sati is the only one tool that you have, you can find your next level. So that's why start to focus to how to develop Sati and look into it, not the mindfulness. Mindfulness, okay, it's a basic, but the Sati is the major part that the Buddha explained in meditation. Not the mindfulness. And then the Sati Sampajanya. And developing Sati, Ekayano Ayamaggo Satipadana. So developing Sati is the only way to get out of suffering, unsatisfaction, fear, anxiety, depression, all this becoming, getting sick, getting old, dying, birth, not the mindfulness. So slowly, if you have the background related to mindfulness, practice mindfulness, and then start to upgrade yourself to develop the Sati. Because the Sati cannot develop like the mindfulness. Sati has a way, it needs little bit more, you have to be more matured with understanding, you have to be more matured with life, because the Sati, everybody cannot develop the Sati. You have to have certain inner qualities to develop your Sati. And in certain level, that sometimes certain our life experience also take us to understand it. But somehow yourself start to work with the Sati. Work, practice, develop it. It has ability to grow. So the nature of the mind, it always growing. So whatever you put into it, it's going to grow by repetition. So then if you are not be aware what is in your mind, you have no idea what you are growing. So then it become like a jungle. But you have to be like a farmer, cultivating, developing all the necessary qualities, not the unnecessary things. You have to take conscious decision what you want, what you don't want. So start to take conscious decisions. Don't afraid for that. Failure is okay. People going to blame to you. It's okay. You're going to get disappointed. It's okay. Don't afraid to take decisions, because taking decisions is the only way that going to take you to move forward and find the right exit. Otherwise, if you addicted to follow, if you try to always make other people happy, if you always depending on others' opinion, if you always follow the culture, tradition, even if you are always kind of like become a follower of the Dharma, you cannot find the exit. You become a debtor to Dharma then. Then maybe you can do wrong things for the Dharma. Like look at the world, the people with the behalf of the religions. There are a lot of people do unprofitable things. So if you mesmerize from the Dharma also, you also can do that sometimes. But you have to understand not to become debtor to Dharma. So that is the power of the Vipassana. That is the beauty of the Sati. Because the Sati always make you free from what you experience. That is the beauty of the Sati. So sometimes when you want to little bit go deeper into practice, I hope this topic will help you. From mindfulness, how you can go to the next level, the Sati. Sati Sampajana, clear comprehension. And from where it start from self-discipline. When the self-discipline become stronger, your tranquility state going to become stronger. When the tranquility state becomes stronger, your Sati going to be there, unshakable. So when the Sati become clear, strong, it's not kind of like when you turn on the bulb light, the light everywhere go. Then you can see everything. Sati is not like that. But most of time people think scanning everything right away and understanding all this 360-degree everything around you is Sati. No. Sati is kind of like a laser beam. When you focus to something, you go into the depth of it, and from each and every angle, you recognize what it is and how it come to be as it is. That's it. So that is where once the Sati become clear, that is where the wisdom arises. Not from the mindfulness. Mindfulness never, of course, when they introduce the Sati into English, they use the word mindfulness. That's how it happened. But now, the mindfulness has a different meaning than the Sati, the very original meaning. So that's why in the Buddha's teaching, so the Buddha's teaching is not this Western science and technology. So this all the Western science and the technology and the philosophy, that's everything based with the numbers. This all the machines, technology, the science, you cannot explain without numbers. That's why all the philosophers, most of the mathematicians, they calculate the numbers. They go with the numbers, all these material things about numbers. But the mind is totally different science. This is what you have to understand. So practicing meditation means here, we are not conquering, we are not overtaking, we are not going to mastering this material world. It's about deeply understanding our mind. I think that still the world even never reached to the closer to the Buddha's teaching, because the Buddha's teaching related to the mind, and the Western world talk about the brain. So the brain come when the body start to develop. But the mind is the key point. When the mother and the father come together, for that point, when another consciousness arises to make a child. So that consciousness point, this all three things together arise the mind. So that is the beginning point, not the brain. So that beginning point, even it go to the breakdown all the thoughts. And in Buddhism, it talk about the very last thought of this life. Chutichitya and the Pratisandhi. And the very first thought of this life. See? Very first thought of this life, very last thought of the last life. And then from that point, beginning all this life, and the body already developed, and the brain developed. This once you come out, and then they talk about the brain, thinking that is everything. So what the Buddha mentioned here, if you recognize the nature of the mind and understand the mind, it gives the ability for you to end this all. How it is possible? Because in the Western world, it's all everything energy, and you cannot destroy energy. Energy transform. That's how they explain. But in this world, Buddha's teaching is the only science that talk about how you can completely disappear without transforming to something. That is what called the nirvana. How you can do it. So to do that, you have to develop your mind. That's what called the Sati. That's the base. There's a way. You can do it. So then think about it and start to look into yourself and start to get into the right path and develop your practice with the right background, right knowledge, right understanding. Because that's why that in here we talk about the Sati. That Sati means Samma Sati, the right mindfulness, right awareness, not all the awareness. We don't accept that. All the mindfulness, no. It not work for you, it not profitable for you. So then look into something what is profitable for you, what you can grow, what are the benefit, what if something you can bring benefit to yourself. Work for that. Day by day, day by day. Invest yourself for that. So if you understand this difference, remember that understanding going to take you to irreversible change in your life. That's what you need. Because working with mind, everybody do that. We all work with the mind. All human beings work with the mind. From when we born to this world, from the very first day till we die, everybody try to teach us, try to help us to work with mind. But work with mind and knowing what is mind is totally two different things. You are here not to work with mind. Don't try to do that work with mind. Most of, you can go into this all the most of the very famous the podcast that go to this mindfulness practice and everything. And the most of them talk about to work with the mind. Everybody like it. People go crazy when they teach how to work with the mind. But knowing the mind is totally different subject. That is the beauty of the Buddha's teaching. So try to look into that and experience it. It has a different taste. It may not for everybody, but start to look into it and work with it. Use it for your life. Use it. And then you will see working with mind and knowing the mind, and after you know the mind, work with that knowing mind is a totally different way of living. So that's why. Come and see. Try to practice and experience it. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left hand, neck head straight in one line. And be comfortable with your posture. Bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say so patveva. Oh, may I be well and happy. 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, as I mentioned from the beginning. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again and settle down with the breathing. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world. around this universe, also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, into your right side, downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.